Welcome to another Century 21 Affiliated Market Update. I'm Dan Cruz, President of Century 21 Affiliated. I'm joined here with my good friend and our founder, Bill Kessler. Bill, I can't believe it's November already. The year has flown by, and it's been a very successful year from the eyes of the real estate world, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But first, I wanted to jump into some of your world experiences. You just got back from a whirlwind tour, visiting multiple places across the globe, and thought it'd be fun to talk a little bit about what you found out there and how that relates a little bit to our real estate world.
Well, it's good to be back. And 2016 for me personally was a tour with my wife Judy around the world. And 2017 is going to be a tour around affiliated land and visiting all 105 offices.
And you've already hit a couple, I think.
That's right. And I think that actually would be a more arduous task than going around the world.
Possibly.
The transportation is a bit more dicey because I'll be driving to most of those.
Don't text.
That's right. It is always interesting to me, I mean, not more than interesting, it's fascinating, fabulous to get points of view from anywhere in the world and talk to strangers, talk to tree stumps, whatever, to get their view on America, on real estate. And on this trip especially because we went to Japan, where I had the honor of speaking to the top Century 21 brokers in Japan.
Sure.
And comparing and contrasting their systems and their belief systems to ours, and some things they do in a better and perhaps more unique and better way, and others that they are maybe 3 decades behind. And it was fascinating then thinking about our own culture as to how much of what we do is based on our culture, our ethos as a society, and how much is based on the fact that our grandparents and parents did it that way, so we continue to do it that way, and we just don't change. And I found that we as Americans, as we already knew, are very resilient and formative and ever in flux economy and persona, which I think is great. And that kind of ties into the election. Yeah. So it all really does fit together. We had this incredibly dynamic, divisive political season, which all of us, I'm sure, are happy is over. And it's amazing, now we're a few weeks past it, and people are talking about Super Bowl, Christmas, and everything else, and millions have not accepted it on the other side, or still fighting the fight, but the majority of America, and certainly the real estate community, is moving forward together and saying, okay, what's the action here? It's
time to move on. We've elected our president, let's move on. And you know, I think no matter what side of the aisle you sit on, whether you're happy or sad on how the election played out, we have one choice, and that's to move forward, and I think that's what we're all looking forward to. You know, from a real estate perspective, I will tell you the new administration certainly has made no bones about it that they are interested in repealing some reform. They're going to be looking at things like property taxes. I know that they're going to be talking about things like Dodd-Frank, CFPB, a lot of areas that have affected our world for the last 8 years. There certainly is going to be some change. What that change means, who knows? We'll see how it plays out. But I think certainly over the next year, probably 2 years, we're going to see some change from all the tea leaves. If you're going to read the tea leaves, I think it all shows that it's going to be a busy time for real estate, and I think one that's going to be an interesting time and could be an explosive time for real estate over the next, let's call it 12 to 24 months.
I don't know of any prognostications that are negative on real estate in the next 2 years. As a career, as an earning ability, as a growth opportunity for investors, for better or worse about how the election came out, it seems to be a very positive force on real estate. And I think we talked a year ago and 6 months ago on the fact that it really didn't matter that much whether the Republicans or Democrats took the White House or the Senate, because the economy has inertia of its own, and it's going to go in its cycles, and we're going to have a recession somewhere down the road. And perhaps it was delayed by all this activity that has gone on, maybe not, but we know for the next 12, 24 months it's full steam ahead and rockets.
Yeah, I would agree. Just taking that, maybe dialing it down a little bit to a local look, I was actually at one of our larger MLS boards last week hearing kind of their annual report on stuff, and it was interesting to hear it, and it's stuff we've been talking about throughout all of 2016 about membership being at an all-time high right now, showing activities being at a 9-year high right now, but listing activity actually being at a 9-year low. So it shows that buyer activity out there right now is strong. People are looking at properties, but we still face that inventory shortage. One thing that I think is interesting, I've heard the new administration and the White House talk about, is their willingness to work with the Builders Association and wanting to get more new construction happening in 2017 moving forward. If that does happen, that could couple with the issue we've had in lack of inventory. It could be a very interesting time that we have in the next, once again, 12, 24, maybe 36 months.
Well, as the voice of age and as a history major, and gone through so many of these cycles, it has the magic threesome that led to the Great Recession of 2006 and 7, which is everyone thinking real estate is a fantastic career and getting their license. Yeah. Buyers desperate for properties because of the shortage of inventory and therefore escalation of prices, and we've already seen it in many parts of the United States. So the only word of caution is that don't wish for too much because you might get it, and then the higher you go, the further you're going to fall. So always look ahead, all of us, to look ahead to the balanced middle, and to our agents, we've always said, don't live in your best year. Right. Put some money aside. You're going to have other years where your income is going to be slightly less or a lot less. We know that because it's happened to us. And don't live in your best year.
I think that's certainly good advice because there will be a downturn at some point in time. That all said, I think we both would agree the next year ahead of us we are very optimistic about and feel strong about. With all that said, you know, we are getting into the holiday season right now and gearing up to close out the end of 2016. One, we want to wish you guys just a happy holidays, great Thanksgiving, and a good closeout to the year. From an affiliated standpoint, we're extremely proud of everything you guys are doing out there. We are on track to break our record that we set last year of the most closed transactions by a single Century 21. We're on pace to close over 17,000 transactions and over $70 million in AGC. We are on track right now still to be the #1 Century 20 in the world, both in AGC and closed units. So thank you guys for all the hard work you've put in. We still have got a month or so left to close out 2016, so finish strong, and we wish all of you guys a great Thanksgiving and great closeout to the year and happy holidays. Yes.